And we are off. Welcome to the Deep in the Woods podcast, episode 9, week 9. We just finished up at Riverbends Park. Lots of excitement, lots of drama. Guys were shooting well. We had beautiful weather. I'm here with no other than Alan Hoxie, and then our special guest of the night, Justin Monero. Super exciting night.
Yeah.
Hox, unfortunately, was not there.
No, I was worried about the ticks, so I didn't show up.
Classic. So
I did see one tonight.
That's what I'm saying. It's for real.
I found one right away, and I sent in the message just to make sure
posted.
guys are on the lookout.
That was my excuse.
Yep. And so I just we'll start off with shout-outs first. The biggest shout-out of the night, it has to go to Christian Dolacek. I'm saying that correctly. Dolacek. He corrected me.
Okay. What did you do?
Hole 14, I was on his card. It was me, Garrett.
Which is 14? It's not the river hole.
It's right after.
Right after. You got the trees on the left, the tree on the right. Just kind of hit that gap on the backhand.
So Christian and Zach Ellis were teamed up. Okay. Christian was not happy out of the hand. It was hyzering.
Okay.
It was hyzering early. It was going to go into that clump of trees. It's going to be a classic.
Yeah. Try to step out.
It nicked a tree so perfectly that it came in and then nicked and then came out and just dove right into the basket. Beautiful. We went nuts because we were kind of walked back to our bags, and then we heard it and we're like, "Oh crap!" And we ran to him. It was awesome. We'll remember that as a group for a very long time.
I need to know, was the reaction Tim Eastworthy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We were on hole 10, coming down the hill, and heard chains and heard the reaction. We assumed it was Tim was involved in some way, but no, they were just going nuts.
Oh, it was awesome. It couldn't have happened to a better guy too. It was like, you know,
he deserves something after we've butchered his last name.
Yeah,
week in and week out,
over and over and over again. So
I'll continue to butcher it, but that's just me.
Yeah. So I don't think we did that, shout out justice enough, but we'll move on from there. We had 2 CTPs today. One was the ace hole that Christian took, and so. No one else got that from him.
Of course.
Naturally. And then Aaron Nitz took it, and that was the one before that. So that
was the river
13,
hole.
The river hole.
We typically have that one.
Yeah.
It's just right there.
Yep. And then the longest putt, Dylan Datsky took that hole 18, the one you got hit the gap, hyzer. Typically.
Dylan's lefty. What, do you flick it?
Yeah, I mean, him and Michael Thomas were on the same card.
Oh, goodness.
So
bunch of cheaters.
You got to know it was tough for him, but his flick is very usable, so I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. I'll give it to him. I mean...
Yeah. So those were the big shout-outs of the night.
All right.
The biggest storyline of the night was the weather. I felt like we're on another... It was incredible to finish off at Riverbends. The bugs were out, but, we're all wearing shorts and T-shirts.
The question, though, mosquitoes.
They were out.
Not as bad as Riverbends normally is.
Yeah.
I feel like next week it'll be unplayable.
You got about six months right there. Spring and then the fall, then you can play.
Yeah, you got a small window, and you got to time it right. So
okay.
We had. I mean, you guys want to talk about the leaderboard a little bit?
I would love to talk about the leaderboard a little bit.
Yeah.
So, put some scores in already today, which is not...
Oh, you talking about points?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so the
What are you talking
leaderboard...
about?
Well, I didn't want to talk about myself. So, it felt natural that you guys
why
talk
don't you
about
tell
it.
us what happened on it? I'm curious on the hardest, the most difficult hole. So, again, I wasn't there this evening. And anytime you step up at Riverbends, you're like, okay, the front 9 tend to play quite a bit more difficult. Right, we didn't play the front 9. We played the back 10 through 27, and there's some tough holes, some longer holes, some shorter holes. But the hole that nobody likes is hole 12. And if you don't know what hole 12 is, imagine stepping up to the tee box and you see a big tree, and then a small tunnel, And you can go around the right side and kind of follow the path and do one of these numbers, or you can try to hit the really skinny gap and go 280, 300.
Which my card mate Christian did. And
what did he do?
Cured it.
He went through the small gap.
He went through the small gap, had a long putt, was like mid-circle too. But it was incredible.
What in the world?
Lasered it.
Nobody likes it. I guess it's a cool hole if you throw, because I throw a sidearm.
It's not.
But I think you were alluding to something else, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had the privilege. I was at one of my daughter's concerts, and while those are awesome, I was also had my phone on and was keeping track. And a Mr. Dave Martini, who we all enjoy his company, had the privilege of playing with this guy. Yeah. And they pulled the solo.
Double bow got in that hole. Yeah. Dave Martini. I'm assuming he Paisan. I'm assuming he's Italian. Yeah. I am as well. Yeah. That big old tree right in front.
Yeah.
So I had him go first, and we were kind of like, let's just get around that one,
Easy.
Lay it up into the fairway, easy up, 200 foot.
Play for the three.
Play for the three. That's what we're going to do. I had him go first because if he gets in that fairway, I was going to try and do a flick, with something understable, come around that, try and get 100%. There. He walks up, hits that tree.
All
right. Bad kick. We're only 20 feet off the tee. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't do this flick anymore. That's aggressive. No, I didn't. I switched to backhand thinking I'll lay up. I hit that tree too. So we're there. I don't remember whose shot we took. And then we had no look at anything. We ended up hitting another tree.
Sure.
Going back. Missed both of us hit another tree.
Oh, yeah.
Missed the putt. And then there we are for 5.
Whoa.
So.
My whole bite quick.
Yeah.
Talk about demoralizing.
Mm-hmm. We both were like, let's play this safe. And then. So I hate to think of what happened if we had gone for it.
So I don't mean to flip that equation on its head.
Yeah. How did you do, Nate?
Well, I did. I just parred, but we had one team.
It's too better than me.
One team that twoed it, which is a lifetime two.
And you're saying he hit the gap and it just kind of floated, kind of.
Well, no, this was his brother. I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. So,
Apologies.
It was actually Nicholas and Tom. I wish I would have asked and got a story, because we
need a story.
You need some context. I don't know Nicholas to have a forehand. I don't know,
but I know Tom. Could. Tom will throw. Oh man, he'll throw a little, but he'll probably throw 200 feet. But then you're still looking at.
I mean, Tom will hit the gas every time.
But then you're still looking at a sizable 80 footer. Was it a throw in? Or was it just a
maybe he gives details in the comments. That's what he does. That's what
hint. Details in the comments.
That's a lifetime deuce in my opinion.
Never seen, and I've played Riverbends quite a bit. Never seen that hole two'd. I've had in tournament play. I had a look at it. Backside of the big massive tree, and by a look at it, it was nothing but trees. There was no chance. So. I did watch when I was in a tournament, playing with Tony. I had a doubles opponent who threw down there and completely cheated and pulled stuff out of the way in front of them and we were just like, dude, what are you doing?
Did he got to do so?
I mean, yeah, technically, but no, because when you grab shrubbery and pull it down so you can put, you can't do that.
Okay.
But yeah. So I guess I lied.
That was super impressive. And we didn't touch on the ace payout. We should. It was a large one. Christian walked away with not only
8 weeks, 9 weeks,
I think it rolled over from last year too. So it was $300.
Ooh.
Which
and a CTP.
That
was a lot of frisbees to buy.
That's his 6 claw buzz he got.
Wow, nice job, dude.
And thanks to Drew for donating that.
He did.
He's also known as Buff Nate.
Yeah, Buff Nate. He hurt himself
in the chat. So, but yeah, that was a cool scenario where
cool.
he walked away with a good night. So
that's pretty cool.
We'll do some course stats.
Well, before that, something else I want to point out.
Okay.
Again, from the sideline, I was watching from the sideline, just keeping track. Ian, and who was Ian's partner? It wasn't Greg. Greg was Nitz's partner. It wasn't Tom. Who's he playing with?
I think it was John.
Yes, John Jackson.
Yeah,
Good call.
Yep, John Jackson.
Those two were absolutely shredding it. 6 under after like 9.
Yeah. Well, they started on an easier section, but yes, they were playing well.
Then bogey on like 21, bogey on 22,
20, 21,
23.
23.
Oh, man. Talk about, you hate to see a bogey. You hate to see a double bogey. I apologize.
Me too.
Yeah. But then
I've done it twice this season.
It'll get you every time.
Yeah,
but then you get a bogey. Oh, then you get another bogey, and then a third bogey in like 4 holes. That's painful. So those fellas kind of, I don't want to say fell apart.
I mean,
hit some tough times.
By their standards, they fell apart.
They fell apart. You're right. They fell apart.
You don't want to say it, but you did.
But I did
twice there.
I called them out.
So, but they wouldn't have gotten first, even if they did par. Let's just make that clear.
How come? What happened? Who got first?
Yeah, who did get first?
Are we gonna?
Well, I'm curious. I wasn't there.
I got first.
Oh,
with my partner was Garrett Landry.
How about Garrett? Way to carry that squad.
He played really well. I was happy.
Right. It was warm.
I was really stoked to get him because he's a bonus C.
Well, when he plays in the warm weather,
bonus B.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So we were clicking really well. My drives were feeling really well.
Good.
He was putting
So we
really
had Texas Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the premise of Texas Nate, but it doesn't really make sense.
You're known, the good Nate is Texas Nate. You're known, it's just cuss. It just is.
Okay.
You have no say in it. We're all going to call you Texas Nate.
I guess so.
There you go.
So, yeah, we'll do some course stats.
All right, so you shot well. Don't skirt it. You guys played well. Just good all around, good gameplay. You said your drive was on. He was hitting some good putts.
Yeah, I mean, we were capitalizing when we needed to.
Okay.
We made 2 out of the circle putts.
Okay.
So, yeah.
40, 45?
He made 1. I made 1.
Okay.
They were both, I mean, I was throwing really well.
Good.
And then he was finishing well. So
Now, last week, your predictions to win were, what were they?
They were pretty ambitious on Hawks and Wade's end. I said -8.
Yeah.
Hawks, I think, said 10
you
or 12.
were 7?
Yeah, it was 7.
I mean, good effort.
Yeah.
Good effort, but you're not quite, but
I was off.
it did get the job done.
Just like normal.
I mean, we can round up, right?
Yeah.
Close enough.
Price is right, huh?
Yeah.
No, I was off by 3.
Yeah.
Because 7 under was the winning score. Good call.
Yeah.
Because I said 10 under.
Yep. So,
anyway, I apologize. I'm done.
Easiest and hardest. I feel like, what hole do you guys think played the easiest?
Oh, easy. So I had a good one for hard.
I think we all have a good one for hard. I'm going to say 13.
13?
Yeah, 13 over the water.
That's
the one
over
over
the water. I was going to say that.
That's it. I mean,
yeah.
The problem is that I have some guys who didn't submit their scorecard, so I can't give you a specific number, but that's the easiest hole. I don't know for sure because those 3 scorecards.
Here, hang tight. Give me...
I know that was an easy one because I made it to 20 feet and then missed that putt for 20 foot.
Of the scorecards I do have in, 13 played the easiest. What do you guys think played the hardest?
What was the hole I double bogeyed?
12.
I'm going to say that one.
I was absolutely thinking 12. I mean, you could look at and say, was it 23, the really long one? Or was it 24? I think it's 24. The long 400 and change. Yeah. Thing is, you should be able to get a 3 on that.
I mean, even if, yeah, you should.
Okay. So 23 played the hardest. It wasn't by much. There was 5 teams that bogeyed it, 1 birdie, where in 12,
I guess if you just play for the par.
A double bogey, 2 bogeys, and everyone else parred it.
And then 1 birdie.
1 birdie, yep.
I got to throw worse on 12 next time, throw off the average.
Yeah. I also want to give another shout out. Alan Block and Sean Clancy birdied 23.
Throw in?
Another scenario where I wish I would have got a story.
Need a comment, probably.
In the comments, maybe get some details.
I'd be curious to hear. If it comes from Sean, it's probably not accurate.
Yeah.
So Alan, if you would be so kind as to...
You can always trust a good Alan.
Yeah. Alan's no.
Alan's no.
So I will say Bernie and Nick Shimatero birdied. It was 14, right? Or 13? 13, the easy one?
Yeah.
They birdied that. And then...
I think 13 obviously played the easiest. There was only 2
the other
pars.
2 teams, Aaron Nitz and Greg Tude, and then Michael, Thomas, and Dylan also Reduced it.
So
that's right. Good call.
Cool. I think that's all I have for course stats. Not a ton, but it was hard to do it with the missing pieces we had.
It happens.
So away she goes. So we'll move on to the season standings, point standings. Now we are, 9 weeks in, and we do have tonight's points.
These are officially
updated going into the final week.
Correct. So, you don't need to make up the drama to say, hey, this is for reals.
Yeah. This is for everything, right? For all the glory, your name cemented in history.
Where is the trophy?
Ian has it. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't grab it to show it off, but
I might have to have a chat with
maybe
him.
Next podcast we'll show it off.
Yeah, we're going to need
take it from the winner.
Yeah, exactly. Just the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Top spot still, Mr. Sean Clancy. He gained 2 points. You're playing good in the overall season when you're 9 weeks deep and you score 15 points as your lowest score. That's like my highest score.
Yeah.
I've not been anywhere near that.
It's too rich for my blood. I'm not into that. But second place, Christian.
That was that ace. How much did the ace help him?
He got 6 points total on the day as bonus. 5 for the ace, 1 for the CTP.
Okay, that's a lot of bonus
Jumped
points.
him up to 12 bonus points.
So how far off the lead is he?
86 to 95. So I would love to sit here and tell you he's going to dominate. And as I'm looking at but here's the cool part. So his worst score of the top 5, I'm sorry. For those of you who aren't sure, if you hop on Discord and under our league section of the pin tab, we have the Google document, and it's all right there. I just printed out today's copy. That's where the info is coming from. Good?
Fair enough.
All right. So,
Yeah.
looking at his scores, he has his lowest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His lowest is on 11.5.
So he could stand to gain probably 4 more with a really good round.
So the highest score when everyone showed up was our 5th week, April 11th. Sean and his teammate Greg scored 20.5 points.
Which you got to take the league down and get those bonus points, right? How do you do that?
2 points for the win.
Yep.
Just flat out on top of your flat.
So how many points did I get today? Curious.
Dang, this guy, he's here. He wants to know. Nate E scored 16 points just from league. 2 bonus points on top of that.
So 18 points.
18 points.
How much for an ace?
Ace got him 5. 2 aces back-to-back weeks.
Back-to-back weeks.
Pressure's on.
Could we see something special?
This
would be like the James Conrad holy shot of
that's what I'm
our
talking
league.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
We need our own special story like that.
Where are we next week?
Stony Greens.
Stony Greens.
What's aceable at Stony Greens?
There's a few short guys.
Hole 2?
That come to mind. Hole 2, but you also got the one that you go across the little pond, marshy area.
Even right before that, 6 and 7.
Goes down the hill a little bit. But
if I were him, I might get out there
Just
to Stony Green this
put
week.
Some reps in.
Put some reps in. See what you got out there.
See it going a couple of times.
Yep.
It's when you see the casual invite, that's where Christian's going.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. If anybody receives comments or payment from Sean to not show up to deflate the numbers, that's what Sean would do. He said he'd pay people not to show up. He's that guy.
There's a price, right?
I'm just saying.
If we're honest with ourselves.
You want that trophy bad enough.
Got to get the name in there, man.
Yeah, there's family legacy there.
That's true. Looking at it, Nitz has 85 in 3rd place. Now, his lowest score...
He was hot in the beginning, but
his weeks...
He's been getting beat up.
17.5, 13.5, 18, 11. So his trouble for him, his lowest is a 13.5. But here's the kicker. We talked about it at the start of the season. 4.5 bonus points for Nitz. That's it.
Oh,
I say that's it. There's an obvious separator
I think the thing is 5 weeks in, if you were looking at the points, you would have thought Aaron was going to run away with it. And that turned out not to be true. It just speaks to the volatility of our league, you know, which is special, right?
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
So I'm going to point out a couple other scores. Zach Pesta in the last 2 weeks, 13.5, 14.5, 11.5. But behind him, so Zach Pesta is in fourth at 79.5. But coming up from behind in about seventh place, Mr. Garrett Landry, 14.5, 16, 11.5 the last 3 weeks.
You got it?
He's so... I'm just saying.
That many in a row, and you're definitely part of something, you know?
That's what I'm talking about. That's consistency.
He's putting himself in the position to win.
That's right.
Which is huge.
Well, he's got to go crazy this week.
Well, I think at this point, he's playing for top 5.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to get paired up with Nitz.
Or me, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Justin, where are you at on this list?
I didn't see my name for a little while there. Hey, this is just spring season. Who really cares who wins spring season anyways?
There's an asterisk to the winner of spring season.
Absolutely. This is preseason.
I'm not even warmed up yet. Call me up in September.
Everyone knows it only counts when Justin is cooking. You know?
And Justin, he's not the winter golfer.
No.
That's not your thing.
No. No, not at all.
You like Nick.
I have not played since what was first week? Where were we?
For you?
No, what was the date of the first week?
March 14th.
Yeah, so I hadn't played since like early October.
Yeah.
So
all right, we'll let it slide.
That's my excuse.
We'll let it slide.
Okay. Well, we're good with that excuse.
Nate's up here. Nate, you caught up to me. I'm at 60, and you're at 59 and a half. That's no feet. We're way down enough. We're yeah.
I was kind of disappointed you brought that up.
Okay, my bad.
I thought I was doing better than that.
But this next week you'll kill it. I won't be there this next week. I got another wonderful concert.
2 weeks in a row,
concert to go to.
Okay. See, I missed my firefighters week because my kids were sick.
Oh yeah, so that's your course.
Yeah.
We all were talking about it too. We're like, man, I'm happy Justin Monero's not here because this is his course.
I know every tree to throw around and sometimes into.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the way.
Yeah.
Cool.
You probably came out and cut down that tree on hole 8, didn't you?
The power of lightning came and took a couple on 13 too. So
that's right.
The classic lightning. Yeah. Cool.
All right, Nate, what you got?
So since we got Justin on the podcast, right? We'll do a little interview. As usual.
I like
Bring it on.
So we'll start with the softball one. How did you get into disc golf? What's your disc golf testimony?
I started playing, I'm going to say it was around 2002. So I should be a lot better than I am, is what I know is running through your minds. But I grew up in the Raintree Park subdivision, Raintree subdivision. Oh. So I had a friend who I played soccer with who lived on one of the roads that backed up to the park. Mm-hmm. So we would ride our bikes, to his house. And I think one day his dad probably was like, I'm sick of these kids here.
Probably.
He takes these Frisbees and go into the park. And we were like, what is this? We'd never seen that before. And back then, it's not like it is now where the park is like extremely full and people have bags and you hear things like Heiser and Anheuser and things like that. Sure. We had no idea what we were doing. We had just stock run plastic and that was pretty much it. And then as we, started doing it more and more, we learned no more, but we went and bought our own discs.
Oh yeah.
So I started buying Discraft, and I've only ever bought Discraft because that's what I started with. And that's what I kind of like my frame of reference has been. So I bought like a Comet, X plastic or whatever the base plastic for them is. I think I bought a
People's Buzz
magnet, and I remember what my starter driver was. But that's what I went out there with 3 discs for probably when we saw people with bags, we made fun of them. We were like, what are they doing with all these things? You don't need all those. And maybe, you know what, we were right at Raintree Park.
Yeah.
But
I'll give it to you.
That was the previous layout of Raintree Park too, when it was 9 holes without those 2 that go into the back.
Yep.
And there was like maybe 4 times as many trees because they all got cut down when that bug came through and killed all the trees.
Ash.
Yes.
Ashbourne.
Yeah. Ashbourne. So that was probably 2002. I think I was in middle school then. So we'd ride our bikes there. I played pretty much every day at Raintree Park because it was riding bike distance over the summers after school. Like we played nonstop. I had a group of there was like 6 of us. Plus there was a bunch of other people in the school that kind of figured it out. One of my good friends lived down the street from me, went there. So I bought my first disc that I bought with my own money off of a website, which was also a crazy thing back then. This was bought on discfly.com. And the OGs will remember discfly.com. So this is a Elite Z Talon, which is not a disc that is made anymore. And this is called a wall disc. So I, growing up in Troy, the mean streets of Troy, we lived in a Raintree Park bubble because we didn't know really that disc golf existed anywhere else. I'm pretty sure I did go to one of the I think there was a disc golf store in Clawson or something like that. I'm receiving confirmation that that's accurate. Yeah. I think I went there a couple times when my mom would take me to buy it. So the story behind this disc is it's called a wall disc because there was a group of kids that was a year older than us that loved, hazing and bullying, and that was like a classic thing. So we used to play for wall. Wall means that the last place, or if it was a big enough group, last 2 would have to stand on the wall of the bathroom that's closest to the
little pavilion guy.
The little pavilion bathroom that's closest to the road. And you would have to stand and you'd take your disc and you'd face the wall and you'd put it like this while people stood at the tree that's nearest to that and drove into your back. So every time you played, you had to run the risk of getting welts in your back from playing wall disc.
Did you ever get blasted?
Oh, yeah. Because we were in 7th grade and those kids who had hit puberty in 8th grade or whatever were throwing, twice as far as we were. So of course we paid it on, we paid it forward and played wall with kids that were younger than us too,
as you should.
Yeah. But the other thing is too, I told some of my friends from that time who I still hang out with, I told them I'm going to be on this podcast and talk about the origin story. And they were like, yeah, everybody does that, right? No, we came up with this.
Pretty sure I've never heard of that.
The reason it somewhat worked is because we had no idea what we were doing and our arm speed was so low that it hurt. Okay. But if thinking about us doing that now, thinking about
breaking bones, man.
You could die from what we were doing. So that was dumb. But we did do that. So that was we have so many stories from Raintree Park just because we were within riding bike distance and it was not a popular sport.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I wanted to bring up. So I saw this name and I was watching the podcast a couple of weeks ago and you guys called out Matt Stachelski. You guys didn't know how to pronounce his name. He's down here.
Absolutely not.
And I thought that can't be. That's not someone I know. And I had someone do some digging, and it is.
Sure enough.
It is a Matt Stahelski. That's how you pronounce his name. That's how I remember him. And if he's watching this, I am very curious to hear your side of the story that I'm about to tell.
So this is so he wasn't part of the wall group.
No, to my knowledge, he never. I don't know, but I did encounter him at Raintree Park.
Okay,
this is probably 2004-ish. Okay. I think I'm not entirely sure.
That's fine.
But it was an era of riding bikes. I got my license in 2006, so it was before then.
Sure.
Matt Stahelski and his brother Tom were at Raintree Park. Mm-hmm. They were playing on what is now hole 1.
Yep.
It was hole 8. We called it the Pink Floyd hole because someone carved Pink Floyd into the tee pad, because that is also very true to that era of disc golf. My friend Tommy and I had finished hole 8. We're walking towards the basket to get our putts. A disc comes flying in. Oh, and we didn't take kindly to that. So we start chirping the people behind us, and hey, got to call 4 or whatever. Yeah. It's a group of 4 guys. And then we are looking at them, yelling at them, and next guy drive of his lifetime, laser beam, straight at us. My friend Tommy sticks his foot up and blocks the disc from hitting him. Just like bottom of his foot, disc goes right in bottom. So we're pissed. We're yelling at him again. And then we go to 9. We basically have to drive right back at them. We're at this point pissed, but going.
So let me throw this at you. For those of you who aren't aware, Raintree Park is very much what we would call more of a. Not the 8 and 9 now, but it's very much a pitch.
Oh yeah.
Take your putter, maybe a mid range.
Hole 8 was a 250-foot shot. I'm pretty sure.
Something, yeah. So and it's very much kind of. So what Justin's saying, kind of back and forth, a little bit of crisscross. Carry on.
We finish up there after they've drove at us, go to hole 9. We're now throwing back towards them, towards the basket. I don't know what they were doing. We're jawing back and forth as they're going to their drives. We're going to ours. And they catch it. It's just 2 of us, which I don't remember why we're playing so slow. Probably because we're yelling at them and stuff. They drive back. They get to 9 before we're done again, and they drive at us again. And so we're just like, all right. So I picked up what I thought was one of their discs, and I'm like, I'm going to go throw this in the girls' bathroom or whatever. It'll be so embarrassing for them to have to go into the girls' bathroom. I looked down after I accomplished my task, and I had thrown my own disc into the girls' bathroom. I had a blue disc that I picked up, and because I didn't have a bag, I just held a stack of discs, and I picked up one of their discs, and I just was like, all right, I think this is the one, and I threw it there. So my friend, they're laughing because they come. And I'm looking like, oh my gosh. Tommy goes into there, my friend Tommy. He grabs their disc, just chucks it across the street. Now they're super pissed. And we're up close fighting because our round's done. They've already driven on 9. We're jawing back and forth, and fisticuffs erupt. I am now in my first and only fist fight. It is not all 4 of them. It is 2-on-2. At least they played somewhat fair. I bring up Matt Stahelski because he was watching this fight happen. I fought Tom Stahelski. I mano a mano threw hands with Tom Stahelski, his brother. So Matt, this was 20 years ago. If you were watching this,
you remember.
You have to remember this. And I am so curious. Whoever knows Matt Stahelski, however he became involved with this group, please ask him to watch this.
He goes to our church.
Yeah, he's part of our church.
Okay. Do you guys know Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll chat with him.
Ask him.
I'm curious to hear his side.
Yes, I would love to know. He has to remember this.
So how do you know his name?
He went to high school with me. So he's 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
And his younger brother, Tom, was my age. I'm pretty sure. And I fought with him. I don't think I've spoken to either of them since.
Yeah.
And this was 8th or 9th grade-ish. And we only know the name because that was the kid we fought. I was fighting with Tom. Me and Tommy had perceived this as 4-on-2, even though Matt was sitting on his bike watching and laughing. I don't even think I landed a punch against Tom.
6th or 7th grade.
While we were fighting, Tommy was chasing the other kid around. I have no idea who that was, but that kid ran past Tom, and Tommy tackled Tom. And that was when the fight ended, and we rode our bikes home, and we were like, man, that was weird. That was a weird day. This was a weird day at disc golf.
You don't see a lot of that on the old disc golf course.
That's something that probably happened somewhere, but in Raintree Park that happened
in Troy and the mean streets. As
the legend
said.
still has it.
Yeah. So fast forward to college, I basically did not play up until I played like maybe once or twice a year until like 2015, and then I feel like we started to play a little bit
somehow.
Matt Upshur, which some of people will know, was my college roommate.
Okay.
One of my best friends. So he introduced me to Steve Shimatero. We play video games together all the time. Hawks is a part of my video game group. So that's kind of how I started to go like, oh, more people play this disc golf. There are more than just 3 discs. I should buy a few more of them. Now I have a bag, and if 13-year-old me, he could see me now, he'd be so disappointed.
Like, what is wrong with you? You sell out?
Yep.
Pretty soon you get up a cart?
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
Slow down.
That'd be ridiculous.
Maybe in 20 years.
Not bad. Wow.
Cool. So are you done with your disc golf story?
That leads me to here and now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you touched on how you got connected to our group. So we know that.
So Hawks got me in. I think I was in on the inaugural season.
Yeah.
You've been around
You're a veteran in the group.
You're an old dude now.
So I've been old person to the sport. I'm an old person to the group. Yeah. But only in the last like 5 years have I known what I've been doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's all of us. That's all of us, really.
That's true.
So next question. You kind of reinvented yourself over the off season of sorts. You were you went through an injury of sorts, right?
Yes.
And so that kind of redefined your game, and I want you to kind of talk about that a little bit.
So I have tried to throw a backhand shot way back then.
And I want to allude that you were a sidearm maestro. You were an A guy. You were an A player.
I'm
you
like,
started
borderline.
before with the sidearm, and you were really good with the sidearm. And so then to see you go down with an injury, and go ahead.
Yeah, so that I think I played the first summer as all sidearm. I never threw a backhand shot. Mm-hmm. I had tried way back in the day, and sidearm was just so much more natural to me, so I stuck with it. I know you were like that too. And that's kind of just how I learned to throw a disc, and that's probably why I'm such a bad putter, because that is such a bad emotion for me that I just like, oh, I'll figure this out one day. But yeah, I think it was in between the first and second year of this league that I came out for spring season, and I was like, all right, let's just do this again. I haven't thrown since October. Let's just throw really hard sidearm shots at Wagner Park. And by hole 10, I was like, oh, my arm. You would say my leg, but my leg arm. It was just, I could tell something was wrong. And I've torn my ACL twice in high school. So I was like, I'm not going to mess with this. So, went and saw the doctor, and it was just like an impinged shoulder and needed some PT. So I skipped that whole season to basically rehab. And really what I found out mostly is that chop sidearm throw that was doing that to me. And I've heard that before, that most people are like, yeah, I stopped throwing sidearm because my shoulder kills me. And so now I throw backhand primarily. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And there's definitely... you need both shots nowadays, especially if you're going to, look at the people at the top of our list. Probably can throw. I can't say for sure, but none of them are flick people, so we'll say that.
You don't have
Sean Clancy. He's a strong flick thrower, right? Yeah. So I'm lying, I guess.
Well, I think he's a one-off.
You cap your ceiling, I think, if you're throwing just forehand, though, because there's holes that you need to throw the other side, and I think max distance, you're definitely capping yourself from just throwing a forehand.
Well, if you think about it, your entire body on a backhand compared to just your upper body
side, and there's still a weight shift involved
a little bit, but
I can throw probably my best flick throws are 350-ish.
Sure. Which is good.
It's typically a world-class flick.
Yeah.
There's guys.
Don't look at the pros that are just abnormal.
Well, when you talk about the pro tour, a 350 flick is typically
that's max
as pretty
distance
good.
and open field. But Yeah, so I have that in my bag, but I did not have any kind of backhand game at all. And so I did field work, which I had never done in my life, which again, 2003, Justin would be very disappointed. So yeah, I just went out and worked on trying to throw, and I don't practice at all anymore either. The only times I play now is during league weeks, and it is reflected in my position in the standings. But yeah, I'm now throwing backhand shots on holes that need them. Today I think I drove one time with a flick, which is very abnormal for me. So I'll still throw a flick when it's like the right shot. But as far as changing the game, I felt like it was just necessary for my arm and necessary for like becoming a better player. Has it hurt my game? Absolutely. Because, but I still feel like, okay, now I have like 2 or 3 more years where if I can get my backhand up to the same reliability as my flick, then I'm going to be golden.
I feel like that's a very similar story to a lot of guys, not necessarily the injury, but guys who are getting into the sport, clearly get more distance off of right away.
Yes, 100%.
And so they get locked on the flick and don't really develop a backhand. And then eventually, long term, they start develop a backhand. It becomes more of a staple. Do you have any advice for someone who is in that phase of, I have a really good flick, or I get all my power on my flick, but my game is lacking because I don't have that backhand?
Well, I watched, I don't know how many YouTube videos of like, disc golf form or whatever. So I did that first, and then obviously I practiced a ton. Field work helps, but that will also only help you for those ones you can walk up to and have a wide open drive. Because I still am like, when we come up to those wooded holes, and that was again part of today on hole 12. That's a wooded hole. And I'm walking up going,
oh boy,
backhand is the right choice here to lay up. And of course, I nailed that first available tree. But if you are like me and are flick only and are going to switch to backhand, it's going to take a long time. Even with a ton of practice, it is going to take a long time. I have drive distance now with my backhand. But I don't have the accuracy quite yet, so that's another thing I'm working on 100%.
And I'm going to interject here and say the benefit of throwing again right-handed backhand. A lot of the courses that we're going to all over the place, because right-hand backhand is the primary for most people. A lot of the courses are as such.
Yes,
60-70% of the throws favor the right-handed backhand,
or at least gives you a line.
There is a throw for a right-handed backhand, right?
Yeah, I think like the places I throw the best at where I'm flicking a lot is like, I think Spindler for whatever reason feels like I have
That's
a good success
why I don't do
there.
well there.
And then I do love some firefighters as well, but I feel like you can go either way on that one. So
a lot of the holes have you pick your poison, so to speak. Cool.
So we'll finish off with a bit of a light-hearted question.
Okay.
We've asked this to everyone. What is your disc golf pet peeve?
I have 2. So a little extra credit.
I like it.
Number 1 is when we're playing, and this doesn't just apply to our league, but when I don't mind if you're taking on a long time on a hole if you look like you're playing. If you're not playing, why are you taking so long on the hole? That's my least favorite thing. And just watching someone who's standing on the green on their phone, and then you're like, well, I could be playing now, but you're on the green on your phone. Or if it's just guys like, there's 2 groups, they're standing at their shots. They're not lining them up, and they're just talking to each other.
Oh, yeah.
That drives me insane. My other one is any tee pad that has a divot like after the tee pad. I am sensitive for my knees.
I feel like Wagner just entered the chat.
Yes, Wagner is a big one because that one's like the double worst because you have to step onto the tee pad. The tee pads aren't long enough, and then you have to step off the tee
Typically, there's a puddle right there too.
So, yes. So I'm going.
Broken joints.
Don't tear my ACL. Don't tear my ACL. Throw. Don't tear my ACL. Don't tear my ACL. Yeah. So.
For sure.
That's a tough mental game.
Yeah.
Those are both good ones.
And that definitely leads to great drives.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where your focus is.
If all you're trying to focus is footwork, you don't think about your shot, it turns out great every time. Right?
Always.
Cool. So we'll move on to the next most anticipated segment of the night. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's wondering where they're going to land on the list. Hoxie's top 10 power rankings.
All right.
Top 10?
Oh, top 20.
We shortened it.
Sorry, top 20.
Cut it
top
half.
20. My
That's bad.
Keep me
I
off
didn't mean
the
to do
list.
that.
All right. Let's take a little look here. So we're just going to get right to it. All right. New on the scene. Was on the scene older, but now is
He's back.
Mr. John Jackson.
I'll go off.
Well done.
Yeah, he's had a couple good weeks, making a show of himself. And then up to new on the scene as well. Was on the scene. Jumped off because he didn't show up, but now he's showing up more consistently. Mr. Bernie.
It's good to see Bernie back in the mix.
Mr. Bernie and Nick, those two shot pretty well today. So
Bernie too was he told me when I played with him a couple weeks ago he ran like the disc golf club at Raintree Park in the era the Mean Street era. So just, if he ever saw any kids scuffling, he understands what it was like there.
It's all bad over there. It's all bad.
Troy was a rough place. Yeah.
All right. Number 18, staying the same. Mr. Justin Monero.
Wow.
Okay.
He's
I thought that was a little generous.
The algorithm was kind to me today.
It was reading it, but here's the thing. Here's my expectation. Nobody is stepping up and taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're not playing well enough to move up, and
I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But nobody else is like, boom, that's my spot.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to try and rationalize with the algorithm. So
you can't. It's tough.
It's right.
It's a tough discussion.
I don't agree with it, but it's right.
As I'm looking at it, I feel cheated, and you'll see why here in a minute. Jeez. All right. 17, down 2, unable to make it out to Riverbends this afternoon. Mr. Wade. He is down to a 17th.
Man, he's been, he was at Palmer. Now he's not at Benz.
Shows up in Canton, shows up. And so it's tough to keep you. The algorithm takes that into account. It reads.
For sure.
Reads the commitment. I said it. That's not true because that's not true. Wade's committed. My bad.
Yeah, you didn't need to call him out like that.
That's on me, guys. All right, up to 16. Up 1, Derek Vansel. So kind of in the same boat as Justin, not destroying everybody, but not playing horrible.
Okay.
But no one is just up there like, yo, that's my spot.
Derek and I were teammates 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
And last week, we both pulled 6s for B squad. Mm-hmm. And then something happened and Nitz had to reshuffle and redeal. And we both pulled 6s again. So we were fated to be together.
Rigged.
It was, that was wild. I don't know what the odds of that are.
Yeah, Derek was paired up with Kyle Griffin today.
Oh, Kyle's
so
back.
It's good to see Kyle in there.
He's done from school.
He's back from school, so hopefully we see him in the mix a little more.
Excellent.
He was kind of on the fringe of being a C, being a B.
Oh, of course.
We had as naturally you're going to have that mix of guys there. So Derek, I felt like held his own because he's a solid B.
Yeah,
so I was
absolutely.
impressed.
All right, brand new on the scene, first time ever, had a couple good weeks. Mr. Nick Ciaramortero.
Go off.
Shimatero.
He's new on the scene for your top 20?
Never hopped in.
Yeah.
Cheater.
So, yeah, he is a cheater. All those lefties, we got 3 of them now.
So I just want to point out his scorecard. He has nothing inputted except for 25, which he took a 2. So
he shot with Bernie today, and they shot a 4 under par.
And then he told me too. He was they were 5 under until the last hole, and they bogeyed the last hole.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah,
bogeys. All right,
don't know about him.
14 down 3 was not able to get here. Mr. David Watkins.
Wait, where did you say he was?
14th.
Wow. Okay.
And then 13th, Steve Demick, also down 3.
He wasn't there.
Wasn't able to show up.
The algorithm is unkind to those who cannot show, which is why I'm curious as to where you are going to fall today.
It's bad. It's bad.
Oh boy.
I'm looking at it here. I'm like, I disagree, but I can't argue.
Down 1.
That's how it should be. Yeah. I got cheated. All right. Number 12, up 4 spots. Mr. Zach Ellis.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
He deserves it. He's been playing well.
Yeah.
He's putting really well. I think he's the strongest suit right now.
Absolutely.
And then his upshots are.
I think he took offense to Garrett being the top C.
I called him out a little bit. I mean, I feel like there's a battle there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think people want to say
rivalry.
A
rivalry?
Oh shoot!
I bet you if they arm wrestled, Zach would win.
Okay, I like that. I like those odds. Never know, but we're playing disc golf, right?
That's right. Yeah, Michael Hyde broke his entire body in his arm.
Mike deserves a shout out.
Yeah,
Mike broke his arm wrestling.
All right, number 11, down 4, was not able to show up, Mr. Zeke. Now, what I'm reading here is the higher up you are, but you don't show up, it's pretty. Zeke dropped 4, but the other guys only dropped 3.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, trying to think of how that works.
I think we're onto the algorithm.
You guys are catching on.
We're catching on.
I'm starting to understand it.
Yeah.
All right. Top 10. Unfortunately, down 6 because he didn't show up.
Who was it?
That's this guy.
Wow.
No.
Down 6.
6. The algorithm.
And I won't be here tomorrow or next week, so hopefully it's only 4 to me next week.
You never know.
That's why it's built in there, so he knows he's not coming next week.
All right. Number 9. Up 3 spots, Ian Kumpla.
Okay.
Shooting pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, he took 3 bogeys back to back to back.
Yeah, he had a tough
Tied
stretch
for
right there.
5th.
Yeah.
But he was doing well before that.
Yeah, absolutely. They were top spot for 6-7 hole stretch.
6 birdies on the night.
Yeah.
Birdieing a third of the course. It's
That's
not
how you
bad.
play, but then those daggum yellow scores will get you.
Yeah, they'll bite you in the butt.
All right, number 8, moving up 6.
So
One of
this
the
guy must be good.
winners of this evening's affair,
Garrett Landry.
Mr. Nate East.
Go off, Nate.
Deserved.
Yeah, we'll give it to him. Old Texas Nate. Oh, thanks, guys. Nice work. 7th, down 1, Dylan.
Okay.
So he didn't play great.
He was on a cheater card, so you got to,
Yeah.
He did actually play, I mean.
What'd they shoot? 1 under?
So they shot 1 under,
Yeah.
which would have put him tied for 9th.
It's not up to what his standards are. He's been up in the top, so he's been playing good.
He did get longest putt, though. Got to give him something for that.
Yeah, got to get those points.
So you thought,
That's
I
good
thought the
call.
algorithm would account for that, but, sometimes it doesn't.
But I don't, for some reason, didn't jump you up 7 and him down 2. So
Yeah, a little weird. But, I don't know everything.
you can fight it. All right, into 6th, up 2, Christian.
Okay. Well deserved.
So I think
I was
so.
expecting a bigger jump with
Well,
the ace, the
but-
CTP,
Right.
and
But
they
here's
came
the
in.
thing. His last week, I was confused about that too, and I looked up the scores from
good,
last
yeah.
week. He shot like 3 points.
Okay.
That's pretty tough, and I think it took into account.
I'm not going to call him out, but I'll call him out a little bit.
Sure.
It felt like he was having spectacular drives and then some of the worst drives I've ever seen. Spectacular drives and then some of the worst drives I've ever seen. Maybe that's a theme with his overall game. Maybe it's week to week. Spectacular week, down week. Spectacular
Absolutely.
Week, down
And
week.
had he just had one of those not down weeks,
And the weather was pretty bad too last week.
true.
Maybe he's a warm weather guy.
him and Garrett,
Yeah.
let them play in the summertime and they'll be great.
Me too.
Yeah, Justin.
And just and Nick.
And but we can go down the list too if you guys want to talk about
Yeah, just
the
everybody.
guys that stayed inside.
All right. Up to 5th, top 5. Up 4 spots. Old top of the sea himself, Mr. Garrett Landry.
Oh, go off, King.
What?
He deserves it.
I'll give it to
He's
him.
been putting in work.
Absolutely. Working hard.
Yep.
Working on that
I don't
forehand.
think anyone could argue with that.
No,
he's
that's-
right where he needs to be.
Absolutely.
He's in the hunt.
Garrett's a C player?
Yeah.
He's a C player.
Is this the highest a C player has ever gone?
Well,
Reach for the stars?
He's pushing the ceiling of a C player and the capabilities of a C player.
The ceiling.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
That was witty.
That's good. I threw up the alley-oop and he dunked it.
He was all over it.
So,
All right. Number 4, down 2, John Vestal. And I think it's because the other 3 just played much better today.
well, better.
That's my guess.
See, I think John loves to play in the slop. I think John is a cold weather man. He's just got access to things.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
we're looking like, whoa, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta like his chances mentally to really push through that cold weather grind.
That's true.
The man, I mean, we look at his scorecard. Andrew Rumps, solid players. He had 5 birdies, 2 bogeys.
Yeah.
A little disappointing on the bogeys.
Yeah.
But
Anytime you see a bogey.
you know, I feel like he's right where he needs to be.
All right. Up 2 to number 3, Mr. Aaron Nitz.
Okay.
So he shot pretty well today. He shot 5 under. I know the score.
Yeah, that would
you
have put
don't
him for
it up there.
tied for third.
Tie for third, yeah.
Yep.
So he jumped up 2. Now the debate for number 1 and number 2. Who do you think? Is Sean number 1 or Zach Pesta number 1?
I think Sean. I'm going with Sean. I think Zach, you know, had a decent day with neg 5. You know, that's good by his
day.
standards, but he's playing shorts. He can hit every pin from shorts.
Yeah.
I think
so
Sean
was Sean.
can do the same thing, but Sean played better.
Sean played better today.
I'm going to take Zach.
You take Zach be the
I'm going to be
Other guy?
the other guy
Okay.
who says that because Sean wasn't here last week, that seems to be a heavy factor in this
Oh,
algorithm.
that's valid.
it is.
Very valid.
Very much so.
What the algorithm
You
say?
turn your back on the algorithm and it turns its back on you.
So I feel it, man. It's personal to me. Actually, Nate, you called it correctly. So Sean actually
tried, Zach.
jumped up 2 and Zach dropped down 1.
Okay.
But you did it.
There's a battle at the
Everybody
top, for
appreciates it.
sure.
Oh, absolutely. They're both playing on top of their game. It's
Exceptional.
going to be interesting. Come down to the wire. I'm going to throw it out there. I don't know what's going to happen with the algorithm, but I bet whoever wins out of those 2 next week takes it home.
down?
Now, if
Sweet.
Nitz steps up and wins by like 15, places, okay, fine, we'll give it to him.
And I'm just saying it now. I
Theoretically.
think someone's going to have to produce something really special for Sean not to take it down. If Sean doesn't take it down, he should.
That's on him.
He should take a season off and reflect.
100%.
And reflect.
Yes.
Because it could get embarrassing real quick.
Or go buy more Zone S's, OS's.
I mean, he's only got 4. He might as well get some more, right?
Need a few more.
Classic.
So there you go. Top
Cool.
20. Well done, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think I see the longer picture of the power rankings. It was a little fuzzy there for a second, but it's starting to get clear.
So you guys just got to believe.
I didn't trust.
Man.
And I apologize to the algorithm.
Yeah, it's not
To the algorithm.
I have nothing to do with it.
Yep.
I just put the numbers in the machine.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got this sweet disc up here.
Let me grab it.
Oh, here.
Oh, here, let me show you.
This. Oh, no, that one? Okay.
So
I see what you did there.
this is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up, if I remember correctly.
I think it's this weekend, maybe.
Oh, shoot.
We
Yeah,
shouldn't
that's
get
what I
this
said.
wrong. Yes, it's this weekend.
Yeah.
It is this weekend. Yes.
So Mother's Day, Mom, May Madness. It's in Escape.
Escape.
What mother wouldn't love this?
Yeah, and so we figure we hook up the winner with a Mother's Day gift. Because, I think it's a big mom's group thing to go play disc golf. It seems to be a big trend. So
Right.
we do have the
I get to
wheel.
do this?
You
Justin
are in
Monero gets to do
charge.
the wheel.
Let me mix them up here.
Yep.
Oh,
Get
nice
them nice
work.
and mixed.
Oh, we have one.
Already.
I fell out.
Just kidding. This game
You
is
gotta
rigged.
go around. You got the wheel?
This way?
Yeah, just commit to one side.
Oh, good keep came.
I think it's the other way.
There it is. Oh,
Oh, there it
hey,
goes.
it came out just right here.
All right.
I got the list up here.
That would be, number 13.
13. I gotta go to the other page. Oh.
Who do we got?
All arm wrestling phenom himself, Mr. Zach Ellis.
Oh.
Zach-
Hey.
I mean, I don't want to cause a ruckus here, but Zach Ellis is in the room.
Wait
what do you guys think about giving it to him right now?
Wow, live?
On the podcast.
Live recorded?
Right now.
Come on down.
Come on down, Zach Ellis.
Woo.
Come get your Elite Z talent.
Do you have any words?
Elite Z talent.
It's an honor and a privilege. Mom, I love you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
That
beautiful.
is touching. That went to the right person, I think.
Yeah.
Well done. I think your mom will truly appreciate that.
Yeah. So
Nice
I'm happy
work.
for the guy. He
Nice
deserves
work.
it. I think I'm not going to say it was perfectly timed, but it felt perfectly timed. It felt like it was
you
meant
had
to
the
be.
right. You found the right stamp. You found the right disc for the right guy,
Yep.
and the right mother.
Lucky guy, too, because I pulled 2 others that fell back in. So
That's true. Is it rigged?
we'll never know.
Yeah, I got that. That one's weighted actually. So
You want to be number 13 is what
Yeah.
you're telling me. All right, cool.
Lucky number 13.
lucky number 13. Cool. We kind of finished up from there. Next week, we are going to be at Stony Greens.
There's some longs, there's some shorts, or rather, there's some shorts. Just a few of them. I think 4.
Yeah, just a few come to mind. Not a ton.
Not a ton, but a few.
But definitely, guys are able to shoot hot there. I feel like there's more bogey opportunities on that course than blues, but there's more birdie opportunities there than blues.
I think my 10 under prediction would be correct.
Oh,
This
you
week.
think so?
Absolutely. 10 under.
Justin, do you have an idea where scores are going to be?
I'm going to go with these Price is Right rules. Can I take 1 and win?
So as long as we'll pretend the pars are correct. Too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm going to go
Didn't think about that one.
I'm going to go 9.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, I think we are going to play slightly better than we did today, score wise, just because I
Especially-
think Ben's plays a little tougher,
If the weather is this nice,
Yes.
but
which
yes.
it looks to be.
Fingers crossed.
I think we're only going to play 1 stroke better, and I think it's 8.
Really,
I think it's 8. I struggle to see a group really take off, and maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am,
yeah, that's
but
why we do these.
I suspect I'm going to come out on top when it comes next week. So with the prediction.
Wow.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the score. I'm looking.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wow, he's calling his shot.
trying to pull up some
He
numbers
is
here.
going to repeat.
I
he says.
slowly I left the last part in there very slowly.
Appreciate that.
Cool. So we do have a video that I'm
right.
excited to have everyone watch. Do we have anything we want to touch on
Yes.
for next week?
Yes. Schedule next week. Stony Green. Following week will be the Ace Race. It will take place at Veterans Memorial Park.
Yep.
We're going to do some grilling, bring some hot dogs. It'll still be a $5 entry fee. All of that is going to go to just the Aces, and we'll give more specific direction. But in the past, we've set aside X amount of money for Aces and Y amount of money for metal hits. So if you hit the band, if you hit the chains and it comes out, or if you hit the cage, counts as a medal, and you'll get X amount of dollars based on however many medals or however many aces are hit. We just hand it all out. And the money's all the funds that you've been paying toward your league fees are going to that. So that's going to happen. And then we are going to propose, and by propose, we're going to plan on doing this ABCD format starting in I guess it's our second season, I guess summer, late spring.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later
Correct.
on, and really,
Make sure everybody
articulate what-
understands where we're coming from and trying to make it the best experience for everybody possible.
and that'll happen the night. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that the night of the Ace Race.
Correct.
And I think we're going to do something a little fun where we kind of put everyone in where we think they should. Well, we'll have an idea,
we'll talk about
ballpark,
it.
but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Say, appreciate you bringing on the...
Yes.
I wanted people to see some disc golf history.
This is
Right
for
there.
real.
That disc has never been cleaned. I don't think that
don't-
dirt
don't.
is 20-year-old Raintree dirt right there.
And now you don't mess with Justin.
No,
Justin. He'll fight you.
You don't
straight up.
throw in on him either.
no, you don't.
Things could go down.
I'm eagerly waiting you to throw, and if you throw at me, then it's going down.
There's going to be trouble. It was gonna be
For now on, you're just going to throw in. It's going to be your thing.
I'm gonna have to challenge everyone. Everyone's gonna have to take me in a fight, even though I don't think I landed a punch the last time I fought. So
It doesn't matter.
I've had
just keeps on
20
getting
years
up.
to practice Matt Stahelski. I was thinking about coming in doing this WWE promo style, just like coming up to the camera and calling him out.
Yeah, I want you.
What's going to happen is Matt's never seen
He's
it
never
even.
going to see this, and I'm never going to know. I want to know if we
Or
did
it's the wrong
something
Matt.
to them earlier on.
Yeah.
It's just a big mystery of my life.
Or you're a bunch of pre-pubescent boys. And
yeah, I mean that's probably all it was. But getting a little angst out on the who doesn't do that in sports, right?
Classic.
That happens all the time in disc golf.
Yeah.
all the time.
It's like every other time I go out there and end up in a fight. But it's part of this. It's part of the game, you know.
Yeah, part of the game. It's like hockey.
Yep. So we'll close it out from here. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, we got bigger issues, right?
Yeah, we got.
Feel free to comment down below.
This guy, we're going to sick Justin on him.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna
the muscle of the Woods League.
Watch out. We got Justin on him.
All 5'9" of me.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks again to Justin for coming on.
Thank you guys.
I
This was
suspect
fun.
he's going to come on again.
Oh,
It was a great time.
I hope we have Matt Stahelski on the podcast.
Dude, just you two.
You
two
put
just
him
carry the
there, you
show.
put me here, and you hold us back.
Yep.
Love it.
I'd love it. So, yeah, I'm going to cue the video. Like, subscribe, smash that like button.
Yeah.
We need the algorithm to really work for us. But, yeah, so, and go a video.
Did exactly what you said.
Oh my god!
I thought for sure it was gonna hyzer. Wait, was that his? That's awesome.
I said,
It did exactly what you said. Flipped up to flat, and then
you want a caddy for me for the rest of my life?
rip one out there, Greg.
Oh, so close to an ace.